fast you can start up the show and then...
You can start it up. I got you. You watch the camera and you go ahead and start it up. I got the glass.
But you guys talk.
It's on?
Show is on.
Everybody's here?
We're here. We're live.
We're live.
Tell them what you're doing.
I'm going to go ahead and draw the letters GA.
Is it script?
There's G.
Is that a G?
And there's A.
That's...
Oh!
Now, I know not everyone knows how to read cursive or glass-blowing lingo, but as Oliver just put together there, finished it off, you can clearly tell that is GA, which stands for...
That looks exactly like our product stamps, and GA stands for the Glass Academy, which is where we're at today.
That's exactly where we're at. And we've been here for 225 shows, folks, and we got mics getting thrown out around behind the camera, people are doing backflips, and everything is going on, and so is this.
All right, what are we making next?
What are we making next?
We're going to go right into
slug?
a slug, but I think we got to hit an intro first.
We're going to hit an intro and say hello to everybody, and we're going to be back with some hot glass in about 34 seconds.
You're good.
That was probably bad for the camera.
Oh, hey there.
All right, we're on a blowpipe now, folks, and we're going right into the perp.
Well, they can still hear us.
In that one moment that we didn't catch you guys, we were in the purple color. One of the most expensive colors we have here at the Glass Academy. And this is an opaque, kind of pastel-y, kind of looks like some kind of frosting type purple. And I'm going to put 2 schmacks of it on here, and you can see with a nice up-close shot that texture. It looks like sprinkles right now, but it won't for long. I've never seen a sharp, sprinkly slug in my day. So what we're going to do is melt that right in. That's what I'm doing. The hole over here is 2,500 degrees, and I hope everyone's having a beautiful day out there.
It's an amazing day.
Yeah.
And so here we are. Welcome. I'm back from vacation. Have so much to say. But
Who are you?
You won't see me until later.
Who's
I'm
that mystery
Michelle.
person behind the camera?
I'm Michelle, and I think we're going to have a lot of new followers because something happened last week that was pretty cool. And what was it?
A little collaboration station.
Yeah. Beth, could you grab me one of those?
I'm going into a really cool color on as a
Grab the
second
white
layer that we don't use often. We don't use frequent. Because when we go on to a live show like this and we're making a one-of-a-kind, one-off piece, we can do this. This is not a website slug. This is not something someone's going to purchase from the white category or the purple category. This is a mixture and a one-of-a-kind slug that's going to be for sale here tonight.
Hey, can you point to the sign behind you? How many of you in the chat got these stickers last week? Because I gave them out to everyone.
Yeah, a lot of
when
free
we were traveling.
stickers.
So I was like, hey, you want to watch a glass blowing show? Here's where it is.
Check this out, folks. Watch this little slug get inflated with breath-giving life. Here it comes.
Every slug starts with a little bit of breath.
Just a little bit. Can you see that expansion? I'm gonna give it a little more. This guy's got to be really lively. Now, even there it goes. Even just standing here for that long and letting that expand, the glass probably cooled down about 1,000 degrees, which is super fast. So I'm gonna get right back in the hole, give it some more heat, and we're gonna go for the tendrils right now. The tendrils are what slugs produce before they become eyeballs.
Yeah.
And in real life, Do slugs have eyeballs? Can they see?
They definitely have tendrils.
Right. But can they see?
I think slugs can see. They got those. They're like telescopic.
I think they're feelers. I think they're feelers.
I think they feel with their eyes.
We might need to talk to Google about that one, but how about a nice zoom right here, Bess?
How cute.
So as soon as I touched those two spots with the tweezers, it instantly solidified those little tips, those tips of the tendrils. Tendril tips, if you will. And so as soon as I did that, I wanted to chop those right off. Let me get a little puff of air from you here. Real tender. Beautiful. This guy's gonna be a little jumbo.
I'll jump in. Okay. The color he's making is actually very similar to this one. Look at those eyes. We're going to show you how those eyes are done. So how many of you watching saw
And you can give her the full
Sticky
blast.
Lolly's live show making the candy slug?
That was pretty cool, folks. There's so many correlations between the insect that was just on my leg and glass blowing. No, but if you guys are from Sticky Lollies or you've seen us collaborate with them in the past, if you're a customer of ours or theirs or the community, you know that working hot sugar is super similar to working hot glass. And the way specifically that they make their pieces of candy is identical, except for the material, to the way that we produce our slug eyeballs. So we're going to show you that in a second, but this is what we're going to stick on here is a couple sweet little eyeballs, and those are just toasted right there, toasted up to about 2,000 degrees. They both have to be hot in order to stick.
Did you grab the orange one, Jake?
Nope. I thought about that, but those are the orange. I went for the yellow.
Okay.
So that I didn't offend you.
I've got a personal bone to pick with the orange-eyed slugs.
I don't think it has anything to do with his hair. But anyway, we got two solid pieces on there. Now those are still sharp. They got heated up hot enough to stick to the surface, but they're literally identical to the candies that Sticky Lollies makes. They're called marinis in glass blowing. It's an Italian term. It's old as heck, and it works very well to get some really fine detail. We're going to show you how we make those in a second. It's like a 3 or 4 step process to get to where we are now. But I'm giving this guy a full toasting of 2,000 degree heat to get him molten again. And I'll show you in 1 second. But his eyes are perfectly melted in. Let me let them cool down. They're still flopping around a little bit here.
And this guy is kind of a jumbo.
We had to do something a little extra for the live show.
I get it. I'm just stating he's a little.
How's that looking, Bess?
Looks good.
If you guys are ready for it, I got some slug info coming from Cindy Jones.
Cindy Jones?
Yes.
Is it about the tendrils and their seeing ability?
It's about, we're calling them eye stalks.
Stalks.
They're stalks, like corn.
I've heard this before, you're right.
So they got 2 pairs of retractable tentacles on their head.
Yes.
1 pair is for seeing and smelling at the same time, and they do like the full 360, and they can be regrown if they're lost.
It's incredible.
And then the other pair is for like sensing and touching and feeling things.
Feel. So they do have multiple sets of eyes.
That's kind of weird. They can regrow if they're lost.
You don't got yours? Oh, you need a...
So Oliver, what's your problem with the orange eyes?
My problem with the orange eyes, every slug that has orange eyes commits crime.
Commits crime.
All the other ones, upstanding good Samaritan citizens.
Good thing this is a yellow one. We're going to go for the GA stamp. You saw us draw it on the marber right at the beginning of the show. But here I'm just giving him a little heat for his belly, getting him a little bit riled up. And then Oliver's bringing over a hot Snoopy gather right from the furnace at 2,000 degrees. And we're just going to cut that little ball right on there. I'll torch it a little bit extra and then take the stamp and go. timing's everything. Give it a little bit of love, and here it goes. Listen close. So he's branded. He's got some personality. He's larger than other slugs that we have here. And we're a 4-man team here tonight. Typically we have 5 people working in this show here at the Glass Academy. So if it takes us a minute longer to get it on the website, bear with us. But everything we make here tonight, except for the custom order, is going to be for sale. And the giveaway. We do give away a piece every single show. So this one we're going to have to think about the way we get over there. We move our knockoff station for the show.
I think I'm going to come to this side, Jake. That way we're not messing with the torch, and then you're coming around.
Beautiful.
We just got to not run over Bess in the meantime.
It's preferred.
It's preferred.
All right.
Got it.
Can you guys put in the chat where you're from? I want to make sure the chat feature is working, so if you could drop in the line where you're from.
Look at this slippery slimer. Here he goes. And he's got a cute little tail. So now the trick is for Oliver to handle that tail as quick as he can, and I'll come right back over with our clappers. Unless you were going for it.
I was going for it. Grab him from the front, and we're going to tuck him in away.
You got a maximum of 10 seconds to get that into the box from this point here, and that's just the way the glass works. That's the difficulty of glass blowing, and that's why I would love the challenge. But it's similar to sugar. Those guys don't just go and sit around and hang out when they're putting together their sweet candy things. I'm on my way over there right now. But whatever I was saying, you can finish it up. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I want to let you guys know, if you're watching the website, the gathering point is where you want to go. And then we talk about what is the gathering point. Shop the items on the show. We're going to show you what we got this week, our YouTube channel, and experimental show. So that's just a quick heads up. The website doesn't go live until 6:30, so just wanted to give you that heads up. And the slug that we made, you saw these on sticky lollies. The next thing we're going to do is the guys are preparing for the eyes. So they're going to gather some clear glass and white glass and blue glass and make the eyes. This one is really cool to see the eyes. They're a bright blue. We're going to do a blue color because it's really easy for you to understand how the glass works and what the color does in a blue, because it heats up fast, cools down fast. If you're new to the show, we make stuff every week. This was something we made on the show last week, this super cool fruit bowl. We've got a bunch of grapes, a strawberry or two. These look like plums. Not sure what they were, and there's some other fruit. So it was put in there, it's solid, it's not falling out. But the items that we made, people are always interested in, so we put them on our show. But if you're new to the show, because we met a lot of people on our travels as well, we are known for our drinkware. So the drinkware is one of a kind, unique, handmade. Each one is handcrafted. We kind of go over the styles and the designs. This one has like a dragon back. In the description, sometimes you can tell what they are. This one has a feather. We call it a feather trail that we're putting on it. So they all have different styles, shapes, colors, forms. In each show that we do, each week is different. So if you see something you like, it's awesome, but don't hesitate because it will be gone. Another cup I'm going to show is the fire cup. This is kind of a little bit of our Van Gogh pattern, but it's a fire cup. This would be really great with some lemonade in it. On a hot day, this cup can go in the freezer, and because it's so thick and solid, it's going to keep your beverage cold for a long time. You can see I'm sporting this Maker's Mark shirt, and we got a bottle of Maker's Mark here. This is a whole nother concept that we're going to get to later in the show, but we just got these in the mail today, so I wanted to talk about those. While the guys are setting up this next part, this is also the giveaway. One of the things we do in our show is we have a giveaway every week, and this is this week's.
It's a pretty color.
Yeah, it is. All right, so back to the guys. Oh my gosh, Catherine said she put Maker Mark in her spaghetti. I'm not 100% sure what that's about. What does that do? In your spaghetti. Well, her spaghetti sauce, I would assume.
All right, so what we're doing right now is picking up some white, and it just didn't stick to the pipe there. I thought this pipe was hot enough, but I cut the white off onto the pipe, and it literally just fell off. So unless the pipe is red hot, it won't stick. Same as the eyes we just put onto the slug there. So we're gonna get the stick right here, right now. And this is gonna be a white pupil for a slug, something we haven't done before. But this is the beginning of the process of exactly what Sticky Lollies does. Building it up from the inside out. We'll be stretching it out and making a beautiful design on the inside of a tube. Nice and juicy.
Yeah. Very nice.
So it's almost like a chewed, looks like a chewed piece of bubble gum. Look at that. If you get a moment in a minute, Beth, would you mind taking that tissue paper and just rubbing down the, right here, that rubbing down the
Camera?
Do you feel like it looks foggy?
the lens? Yeah, you can kind of tell if you look at the windows, everything's
Do you think it's like Maine? The fog followed us from Maine?
maybe. The fog was here too. Yeah, that's looking good.
Clear. All right. So the other thing is, we're going to layer these colors together, and then you're going to see them added on.
So there I got into a long cylinder. I'm gonna put clear over this, and then I'm gonna put a really deep, beautiful, powerful blue on top of it. We really like the vibrant colors for these eyes because the bodies are already really vibrant colors, and you add on a contrasting or similar but bright eye color, they really pop out and you can notice what's going on. So we never do something too subtle. We never really just do clear either. So I'm gonna gather over this now that it's stiff again and get this beautiful blue that we have right here on top.
So in the summer, our camera tends to move. So I'm going in for a quick view. See Jake across the shop there, right in the plant. When he comes out, I'll back it up and kind of zoom in on adding the color.
The key with doing cane, which I'm still learning to perfect right now, is that you want to have everything evenly distributed. So as soon as I took the gather, I held it up in the air and I let all the clear gather back into the center of that white piece. Now I'm not going to be able to see anything going on inside there anymore because of how powerful this blue is. So I'm hoping I got it lined up good, and I'm just going to try and keep that heat totally even throughout the whole core of this piece.
How many layers of blue would you do?
Maybe 4, which would be more than we'd ever need for anything else, but when we're going to stretch it about the length of a football field, we need to really, I mean...
I thought you were going to say a length of a foot, but you kept going.
No, this might be a 2-footer, 2.5, maybe an arm's length. We're going to see. I'm probably just going to grab it with the diamonds and hand the diamonds to Oliver.
So the reality is, for this show, we're making this short and sweet. He's going in for another dip. Oliver's gone to the other side of the studio. He's gathering the wood tracks. They're kind of like train tracks, and he's going to walk into the front here, and I'll show you what they look like. Your mic is on. You want to talk about what they do?
I got them. Yeah, we set all of our cane on top of these guys. This side is the better side for showing what actually is going on. And this protects our floor, and it keeps the glass looking nice. And this is just a good spot for it to air cool down the room temperature until we can break it off into pieces. Anything else I'm missing there, Michelle?
No. When we do our candy canes in the winter and our twisties are made in this style, we have about 4 of these tracks that we pull at the length of the top. Now that's a good 20-minute setup or so, and we wanted to do a short, sweet version to show you. I do know on our YouTube channel, you can look up glass cane. We have a very extensive how-to video about how we made it. So it's going to be short and sweet.
Any guesses as to why I just dunked the tip of this into water? We got a lot of people that watch our show every single week. I know many of you guys very well. I know someone's going to have that answer, but if there's anyone out there that doesn't have the answer that can make a guess, take a stab at it. I'm going to do it one more
So
time.
the website is the Shopify website. It does not tell us when it does updates.
One final heat.
We came in to find out there was an update today.
Oh, yeah.
So that slug will be on there shortly. But meanwhile, we're getting used to the updates.
Where did that second pair of diamonds go? You got them? Grab those
I got
guys.
them.
I'm going to start her off, and I'll hand it to you so we can get the full arms length going.
Okay.
Slowly. Beautiful. Give it a second. I'm going to pull a hair more on you. Beautiful.
That's
So
like
what-
arm's length.
That's about an arm's length, maybe a football field.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. The key with this and the really cool thing is that right about at this moment here, it's going to be completely stiff. If I go up, it's going straight up. So we're stiff now, which means we're going to want to take this to the ground. I got no room over here, so let's do this. Just take it all the way so they can see what's going on. All I got to do to break this off now, Oliver's end's clean. I'm going to take these cold tweezers and just touch the end where we want to break it. Hold it for a couple seconds, let it cool down. Give it a little tap, and she's broken off. Now you can really only see the blue there on that whole strand right now, and just the same as the cane that those guys work with, the candy that those guys work with. It's
But
one
that's got
color
a
on the
white
outside.
pupil.
Unless they do some kind of marbling or some kind of crazy action to it. But if you look at the cross section here, you can see our white pupil. Yeah.
That's a cool idea right there, Jake. I never thought about that.
What's that?
We take some transparent colors and marble them up and then pull that as cane?
Transparent on the outside, a little bit of action.
Yeah, that'd be
The trick
so...
with the frit is to get it dense enough that it doesn't burn out.
Well, transparent bar.
Transparent bar. Very true.
I'll take that guy off your hands.
All right.
Thanks.
While they get set up for the next item, we're going to pop over here for a second. Some of you were asking on the website. All right, here's the deal. This is anything that we make from the show. This icon stays the same every week. We don't switch that. So the items that we make, that's from the show. But at 6:30, and we're at 6:23, when it's 6:30 on the gathering point, you'll see the items listed. So you go there, shop items featured, and the 6:30 the website will open. Okay, tonight's question, should we tell them? Guys are getting ready. They're getting our next thing up. Yeah, do Oliver's piece, if you have the drawing. This is the question of the night. What are the features of Glass Academy drinkware that you really
Spinning the wheel.
enjoy?
They spinning the wheel?
I'll draw it up.
Not yet. The handle, the colors, the shape, the handmade. We're switching up the show a little bit. We do this like fun game in our shows, but we want to break it up a little bit because we get hot. So spin the wheel is coming up. Spin the wheel is coming up. But now we are making...
Yeah, the wheel of shenanigans will be in a minute. We're switching up the direction of the show here. We're going to get right into this custom order in a really quick hurry. This is a piece for Oliver, actually. He's going to get 3 done for him and his 2 buddies. You want to give us a little more backstory here, Oliver?
Yeah, let me make sure my mic's on real quick. My
Yeah.
mic is on.
There we go.
Buddy had a Pilsner glass, and it was real heavy set, and when he was moving, it broke.
Treachery.
And he all of a sudden had someone who worked with glass in his life. And he thought, man, could you make me a custom Pilsner glass? And I said, well, if I'm going to make you one, I'm going to make one for me. And if I'm making one for me, I have to make one for my fiance Kayla.
There you go.
So we've got a Pilsner glass here. This is going to be like a 25 ouncer, big boy, made out of clear. And then we're putting a bunch of circular bits on here, which is going to make the glass feel really heavy in your hand. It's going to give you some color. We're going to be going for like a granite style look, but imagine if granite was purple instead. Hope that made sense to the people at home, because
Purple
it makes
granite.
a lot of sense to me.
You got to give Oliver a shout out for first his pencil drawing here, but also his chalk drawing. That's something that took me quite a while. I watched the way Chris did it, learned a lot, but it's not an easy thing getting proportions right on the floor when you're on one dirty knee and figuring it out with two pieces of broken chalk. But it's rewarding and it's necessary for what we do here. We have a ton of chalk, but we don't just throw away chalk willy-nilly. We use it down to the final depths until you're scraping your fingernails on the concrete, folks.
Got it.
That gives me the shivers. It's almost like styrofoam.
So the running idea here is that we're going to have a bunch of circular bits on there, and it's going to almost look round, very bubbly, like think cobblestone road. And they're going to be spaced out a little bit so you can see your drink in between all these little circular discs. And then it's going to cut off as soon as you get to the top of the Pilsner bubble.
Right in the neck.
And that way you can see your drink at the top as well. We'll be doing a clear Rosetta foot, and it's going to be really freaking awesome. I'm really looking forward to making these.
Hey, Oliver, guess what?
What?
The Slug is live on the website for sale.
The Slug is live?
Slug's
It's
live.
out here? We haven't even named that one yet.
We
You got any
haven't.
ideas for a name, Bess?
Is it a boy or a girl, first of all?
It's a girl, and
It's a
I
girl.
can say, given that it didn't have orange eyes, it's a good Samaritan. That slug right there donates to charities.
Okay.
Donates to charities?
That's what that slug does in its free time.
That's a good slug.
Slugs get up to some good stuff.
What an incredible pastime.
If you have any ideas for the Slug name, go ahead and put them in the chat,
Yeah,
right, Oliver?
let's
Absolutely,
Slug
yeah.
It was purple and an off-white with bright yellow eyes.
I feel like it's got to be like
I think we
a
said
Marnie.
Barney.
Marnie.
Purple.
I was going to say, I don't know if Barney was right. For me personally.
But it is live on the website for sale.
Wow. It's already up and ready to go.
Already up.
Here's a little puff of air for you guys. Crystal clear. You can see that bubble come in real nice. This is a very interesting shape to work with. We got 3 attempts to knock it down and make it perfect. But we're going to go for the right size, we're going to go for the right shape, and we pretty much just want to make it perfect. So there's not really much room for error there.
Jake told me earlier that I'm the pickiest customer he's ever had to deal with.
Yeah, I was like, dude, come on. That's a joke, folks. He was pretty much like, it looks great, man. I was like, all right. No, but this is actually a really interesting shape. When we don't pull this one out, it's more of a Renaissance shape for us for some reason. So you don't see it frequently on the show. Blow real tender. Good. You're going to see what I mean in a second. If you guys have seen our shows before,
This glass comes together different than any other glass I've seen us do.
very different, very strange. Blow. Good. So if you've seen glass blowing before, you know that. We'll puff it one more time in a sec here.
All right.
You know that you make every piece of drinkware upside down. So right now, the tip closest to you guys is the bottom. I just blew out a complete sphere, basically. In a second, we're going to need to elongate that to get that entire fluted bottom shape. It almost looks like an Avolio, a giant Avolio. Blow light. That looks good. I got a neckline on it. That's right there. That's where the lip of the glass will be, and we're going to break that off in a little bit here. But the tricky part, and it actually took 1 or 2 tries for us to get this situated when we made the first one, is you got to have so much thickness on the bottom of this bubble, because right now, if this was a perfectly even bubble like our world record breaking Breath of Michigan project. I would go to drop this out 50% the length, and or would that be 100%? Doubling the length of it would be 100% of the length.
I believe you.
I kind of believe myself, but I can completely change topics, sure. Yeah, the world record bubble was it was a world record breaking class that we did last year, 2 years ago.
Last year.
2 years ago. And it was incredible.
A big community outreach program right there. Getting people in here, seeing what we're about. They get to be a part of something pretty cool and get to see what glass blowing's still about. We're still teaching the class now, and we're going to kind of take all that world record awesomeness and we're going to translate that into an amazing sculpture piece.
An incredible sculpture. We're going to put a 12-foot sculpture up in the wall here. That's on our list to do as we're putting the bar together here. And we're going to have an opportunity August 24th, which I posted in the attics about, for people to be a part of that project even more so by getting their name on a plaque on that sculpture. So you have to stay tuned for work on that. But if you didn't hear, you guys aren't a part of the Glass Academy Addicts Facebook page, we're going to have a huge community outreach event with all kinds of action going on August 24th. And it's going to be radical. Just trying to get this lined up. There she got pretty darn long, and she's a little bent too.
That last flip really got you some length.
Yeah, I think we're going to do something with this, and then we're going to go from there.
So if you guys are new to the show, there are a group of people called Glass Academy Addicts. They're longtime fans and customers, and they've been reaching out and hanging out on our site, and they know some answers to some questions. So if we can't get to your questions, sometimes if you type it in the chat, they might answer. So
What you got going on there, Jake?
Why is it extra long? Why is it clear? What train is going by? It's the Amtrak train. So as we are working on items, you can see when you're concentrating.
Let me get a bigger pair of diamonds, and then would you give me a knock through like we're doing a blown foot here?
Please set the microphones so both Jake and Oliver can talk and you can hear it. So they will be telling
Bigger set of diamonds and you want to knock through?
Mm-hmm.
Just real follow through with it?
Real follow through-ish in one moment here.
How much force you want on it?
Medium.
Okay.
Use some metal.
that are being
Use
made
metal.
that you're watching handmade.
Usually, yeah, maybe the back of the tweezers.
One of a kind.
All
one
right,
by one.
go for it. Right through the tip.
Ancient techniques. The only thing that's really modern is
Then?
the way that we use computers to hold up. They monitor the temperature and that page up.
I'm gonna finesse this for 1 second, then I'm gonna hand it to you to keep it warm. I'm gonna make a quick funky punny. We're gonna rip it open and we're gonna see what it looks like, because right now this was not gonna work, folks. But since I was already talking Renaissance, it just turned me on to the one time that we made a ridiculous trumpet at the Renaissance Festival, and we blew into it and we called the people to the stands with this trumpet. So we're gonna see if we can do that right here, right now. This is on the fly.
This is kind of like, what are those things called? Yards, when you drink a yard of beer?
Yeah.
This is the same idea of how that's made.
Let me get a little paddle.
It's going to be actually the mouthpiece. Are you going to
Squish.
do a post honey on it, Jake?
Yes. Good.
A post honey is not typically what we do. So we're going to show you how that is made.
That's how that goes. How many of you guys can play a trumpet out there? Do you guys know that motion with your lips?
Not at all.
You're gonna learn here, Oliver.
Okay.
Okay, the handoff is so Jake can go do the next part. The post is a separate piece of glass. He's going to the other side of the shop. We have a shrub over there. Why we have a shrub going in the middle of the studio, I'm not quite sure.
Right behind you. She's paper thin. Be careful.
And there's the shaping here on the marker.
This is a funky punty because I got a hollow mouthpiece tip on the end here, so I want a punty like this, which is very difficult to get the right temperature and have it pop off and not have it be super sharp and broken when it's something thin like this. Let's trade her up again.
Did you look at that drinkware book about the horns?
I haven't got into it yet, but I heard about
You do?
it. Straight up and down with her. Ladies and gentlemen,
What happened?
I don't know how to play a trumpet.
he was really nervous
I-
about getting his lips on this thing.
I said I didn't know how to play, and
All right, in clear, it's a little tricky to tell. What happened is, going in the glory hole, Oliver was aware that Jake was going to be coming in with another plate, and so he scooted over and he tagged the door. And that, it would have that look. When you tag the door, it just means that circle there, you hit it lightly, and that the brick kind of sticks to it. So, this is no good.
folks at home, if you're wondering what it feels like to tag the door when you're like partway through a piece, it feels exactly like when Lucy pulls the football out from Charlie Brown.
All right, plan B.
Yep, it's a good thing we weren't halfway through this custom order and that happened, because
Yeah.
all that was clear. We can recycle it and reuse it, and let's get into the actual piece here.
Let's get another one going.
All right. So, Oliver, why don't you grab a drinkware from the table? Pick one of your favorites off the table.
Sweet.
Show me why it's your favorite.
Oh man, there's two here that are my favorite. You already talked about one. I saw you talking about this one here, so I'll let that aside. Did you talk about 13 already?
No, talk about 13.
I absolutely love this one. This is like a really cool technique. This is getting into like same idea as what we're doing with some of our mushrooms and the cactuses. And this is like bar color swirled up around, and it's just a really, really striking enamel white with like a brownish black on top. And it's probably hard to see on camera, but like down here towards the bottom, these dots look nice, like crisp black. They're shiny, they're reflective. And as you get up towards the top here, they wet out a little bit. They get a little less protruding, and they get a little brown hue to them. And I've been seeing these guys in the gallery. I think they're absolutely stunning. It's perfectly white on the inside. It is just like, in terms of like opaque solid color cups, 10 out of 10. I love this stuff. I love these guys
All
right
we'll
here.
Go back to the glass blowing action. Pay attention to this wheel. Something's going to happen with this wheel after this piece. Here we are again. Just like I've been here before.
Yeah.
Kind of what glass blowing is about, if we're being honest. Not every piece is a win. Some days you drop everything you make and you have a rotten day. Other days you are the shining star and you make some amazing pieces and everything turns out really well.
I think that's going to be enough.
Think you need a little bit more on that?
Yeah.
Jake's going for a second gather over top. He's not thinking he has enough glass on there just yet. But he's blowing some air in it off the bat here.
I can't quite go over top with it when it's already that shaped up. So what I'm going to do is drip it off on the side of the crucible here. And I'm going to pass this pipe to you as I gather up another one just to make sure she's not clogged up.
Okay.
So I missed that it had some bubbles in it.
No, it just wasn't enough glass. We really, when the custom order, as you guys know, we've done many on the show before. Obviously it's for Oliver, but we want it to be the best of the best. And if all it is dripping clear glass back into the furnace and taking one more gather, it's worth the 5-second wait. And I'd much rather have a little too much glass and have to trim some off than to not have enough and make it paper thin and lose it halfway through.
Especially with what we got going on with this one.
The dots and stuff.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I
that
was gonna
takes a
say.
little bit of time.
And a little extra heat. Each one of those that we put onto the body is going to add a lot of heat. And if that cup's too thin, then it's totally going to be pushing through the body of it and not working correct. If you know what I
If
mean.
you guys have any questions in the chat, toss them in. We can check it out. So Jake is shaping the glass. This is a solid blob of glass right now. It is about the consistency of really thick honey. In fact, we did a show one time where we froze some honey and then we took a chopstick and like went through the honey and showed people how glass moves. So it's an experiment you can do it.
When I was first learning, I was really struggling with my gathers and like engineer before this, right? So I was like coming to Jake and I had like a million science questions about like the science behind the gather, and I saw like me just completely scramble Jake's brain, and Jake rebutted with, "Go home, mess with some honey and a chopstick, dude."
And come back tomorrow. Well,
You know, in glass blowing is one of those things you kind of have to
Good.
do it a bunch. And when you start out glass blowing, you start out assisting and you work your way up. There's many levels to glass blowing. And assisting is more about checking out the time. Timing. You can't read it in a book. Every piece is different. If the glass
Keep
is
it coming.
thick, the glass is thin. If it's winter, if it's summer, how hot the vertical is.
beautiful.
Beginning of the day versus the end of the day, there are a ton of variables.
A little more. Just give it a nice solid puff.
Able to blow down the pipe while Jake
Perfect.
looks at the shape.
We're gonna take a look at this and see what it do.
And then this time when he swings it, maybe he won't swing it as much. And so it won't get that long cone shape. Hard to say. How's everyone feeling tonight? Put it in the chat. Are you guys, what's the weather like where you are? We just came through some fog. We're back in Michigan now and it's 80 some.
It's about 125 and humid over here.
See, Jake's got the fan going. He's got that model-like hair. Let's see that.
I got sweat right on my brow, dripping right down to my eyeball.
I think I should get tennis headbands for everyone.
I wouldn't mind
We
it.
can
A
all
little
look
GA headband.
stylish.
Some what hats?
Headband.
Headbands? Okay.
I started wearing those on the farm, and they like keep the salt out of your eyes.
That's why I've been wearing like the hats and the bandanas and stuff, is just to keep my hair out of my face and keep the sweat off my brow.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a really tricky move to doing this when we're letting this
Better
piece
now.
swing to keep the piece on center. It's like if I'm just gonna let it hang like this, it's very easy to keep it on center. Right now I'm doing it. If I really want to get it to where it needs to be, I kind of need to give it a little bit of swing. And the more you swing it, the more that center of balance is pushing off from the tips hotter to the center, the top of it being colder. So then you get it and it's got a banana shape to it. And bananas are cool for all types of activities,
But not when it comes to our swingage.
no. And not when it comes to drinking beer.
So what's the trick to that, Jake? Are you giving it like a 180 turn in between each rotate?
I'm turning it as I'm rotating it, and I'm doing something with my brain that I can't really explain.
Okay.
You know,
It's
kinda-
called thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it and trying to do it.
All right, if you guys can hear me now, type in the chat. Yes, Michelle, we hear you.
Well, let me ask you this, mister. I've been doing this since I was a kid. You just go into autopilot when you do moves like that a lot of times then?
Personally, this move right now is giving my brain a little bit of a pretzelage,
Okay.
for sure, because I haven't done these in a while. This was actually, on a larger scale, this is the piece I used to do my demonstration or my presentation for Corning to be on their cruise ship situation. So I have done it in the past. We haven't made a Pilsner in quite a minute here, and we're just gonna take a look at this.
While he's shaking that, I wanted to show you guys the tools. These are the nippers. See that there? We're going to go cut those slug eyeballs in a few minutes. These are the nippers, and like tile nippers that we use. All right, when the camera blips a little, it does mean it's getting warm. So we got a second camera. Okay, we're going to check my mic.
I guess, Jake, talking about this being like something you haven't done in a while, never really thought about it, but like, what's some like more uncommon glass shapes that we don't get to make that often?
I guess the first one that came to my mind right off the bat is the martini glass.
The martini glass, you said?
Yeah. Glow real light. Even lighter. A little bit more now. Beautiful. Just cap it. There we are.
Tonight might be one of those tech things again. Because, okay, first off, can you guys hear me now?
Pretty
We
dang
just
good,
swapped
dude.
my mic for a new style.
I'll get started on some bits.
All right,
Yeah,
Beth
do it.
says she hears me. I've got no comments coming through on my screen, so either you guys aren't talking at all or my screen's not working. And what else was weird? Oh, the show title is weird. We changed this show title, and it's not saying the right show title. I mean, this does. This one says Slugs, but on Facebook you're on Anila Reveal. It's all just a mystery.
Coming behind you.
So Jake is high concentration. I'm watching closely because in just a minute, if Bess feels up to it, I'm going to jump in and do some bits.
And I think the best way we should handle this is a team of 3, since Oliver knows after doing a few of these the exact coating of color he wants to do. I think Oliver can start them. He'll give me like 2 bits and then hand it to you, and he'll start the next one. So you'll
He'll
be the
start the next
finisher
one.
of the bit. He'll be the starter of the bit.
Okay.
Does that make sense, team?
Okay. Beth
I'm
says
starting
that
all
sounds
the
way
bits.
better.
Right.
Yeah.
We got the size and everything down.
I can
She
talk
knows
a
what to
little
do.
bit about the color that's going on here for
Please
everybody.
do. Let's hear it.
So we've got a different white than what we typically do. Usually we're using enamel white. Right now we're using alabaster. If I'm not wrong, Jake, it's a little bit more milky.
It's a little milkier and it's kind of spotty even. It's got transparency and it's got opacity. It's pretty much got the best of both worlds, but it depends on what you want.
We're doing about 3 coats of that as kind of a background. Taking a kind of half measure reheat, so we only get a partial layer of lilac red, size 1, and then doing the same thing with this cyan gray.
I think a lot of our fans know what we're talking about when we go with the industry standard terminology of
Schmeck.
2 schmacks of alabaster and a half schmack each of the perps and the gray, folks. Don't you?
We're not messing with them in any way, shape, or form. We're just letting them be spotty on there,
Couple spotty schmacks.
giving it almost a little camouflagey look to it.
Yeah. So now's where I'm working. This whole time I'm working on keeping the temperature of this body perfect. It's thin. We wanted it thin, not as thin as the first one, but thin enough that it's not going to be a super heavy piece. We're going to put a lot of solid bits on the side here. But if it gets too cold, I mean, there's a short window between this when it's so thin. That's the difficulty of blowing goblets, blowing thinner pieces. I'm ready when you are.
All right.
And that's what the window is that we're going to finesse here.
Okay, we have it's called Restream, and it tells us the comments. For some reason, my version's not showing that. But Jake and Oliver, they've got Facebook, and they say you guys are great commentaries talking with each other. So I'll let you guys talk, and I'll save my stuff for housekeeping.
All right, they're doing so everything's working okay.
Yep.
All right.
Just
Good
Yeah.
to know.
We love that. Hope everyone had a swell weekend out there. We got to see some pretty cool posts in the Glass Academy Addicts page on Facebook. That was Sue Schmidt opening up a box with a beautiful piece Joey and I made on an experimental show. There were a couple other great posts. One about the Barbie movie, and then also some really great comments starting to spur up on our YouTube channel. And you all know that we've really been working hard on pumping up our YouTube presence and making our videos really intentional and really giving people a reason to hop over to the 4K Ultra beautiful video scenario.
Thank you.
And if you guys haven't experienced YouTube yet, I highly suggest you do, because there's more than just our Tuesday night streams on YouTube. But some really cool comments, and those ones you pointed out to me, Mom, I went back and commented at them and talked with a few of our patrons about different techniques and things throughout the video. And so I'm going to try and do that every Monday. I'm going to take a look at the YouTube comments, because we do an experimental show every Sunday.
And I know Bess is going to be working on the VIPs.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Getting our new list updated.
Shouts out VIPs, our amazing patrons of the Glass Academy.
Am I doing these two back to back, or are you flashing?
I gotta get one in here with too thin.
Is there anything on the back of this shirt?
Negative.
Oh, missed opportunity. When we're blowing glass at Art Beats and Eats, they're not going to know who we are.
They'll never know.
Do you want the other one now, or are you flashing?
I could take a quick, yeah, sure.
I really feel like we got to get a Maker's Mark Glass Academy collab shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we get one more off that.
Yep.
I'm gonna need a flash. This is rapid speed. I'm trying to be careful. I couldn't really focus on that rapid speed one there, but I'm being very aware of where I'm setting down that taglia, that metal paddle that I'm using.
Because it's going to get hot.
First
It's gonna
of all,
get super hot.
after the second one of these we made earlier, this thing and the diamond shears was screaming hot.
You
But
dip it in
second
water?
of all, I did not, because I really like to have it as waxy as possible. And that means that when I go for this, I got beeswax on there, and it's sliding. You see that little bit of smoke? It's sliding on the glass perfectly and not scratching it or putting any major tool marks on there. But when I go to set down that super hot taglia, if I set that anywhere near where the tweezers or the shears belong, I'm always trying to keep it over here. Because if this spot gets waxy right here, all of a sudden I got wax on the shears and wax on the tweezers, and you go to pull some slug tendrils and they just slip, and poor little slug is a one-eyed slug.
You know, it's going to take us probably a year and a half to switch over from calling them tendrils to stalks.
You're right. It will take us about a year and a half. When we get set in our lingo, we get set.
We get set in that lingo.
Yeah. But I'm down to make that transition. I can be a part of that.
We could.
I think that's legit.
All right, our tech is being weird. I can't get any of the comments on Restream, so Google Analytics changed, and maybe something did not update on mine. So I'm doing 2 bits. Oliver's doing 2 bits, and then I'm jumping in.
Yes.
Yeah, do you guys see how, like, if Oliver's in front of the camera, how you can read his shirt? I mean, the front of his shirt says Glass Academy, but when he flips on the back, because when we're blowing glass, we have our back to the people.
To the people.
Back to the people, because we got to jump up and down like you see happening right here.
Do we have anybody that watches our show from in Royal Oak out there, folks?
If you're from Royal Oak, please speak now.
Speak now.
Royal Oak in the house.
I spent the morning and the afternoon in Royal Oak this morning doing a little kind of press conference deal about Maker's Mark. It was a really good experience, and I met some very cool people, saw some good live bands early in the morning, and represented the Glass Academy. I had a nice table full of product. Unfortunately, I was right next to the drink tent, and when I was repping the Maker's Mark bottles on the table, mixed into all of our glass, everyone kept coming up to me thinking that I was serving up drinks. And on one hand, I was kind of like, I mean, I get it. If you saw all this sweet glassware and you saw a couple bottles of Maker's Mark sitting there, I'd love to go up and get a mixed drink in one of those sweet mugs or a rocks glass, whatever it may be. But on the other hand, I was like, the drinks are right behind you right there, and I'm just trying to
Were they drinking? Like people were drinking?
Yeah, people had some drinks at like 11 a.m. It was the music crowd, the artistic crowd.
Coming on the side of you.
I just don't know about this fan. It's like blowing my microphone off.
Yeah, I've kind of never really liked it at that angle either, but they're kind of getting me involved into it, Joey and Matt. And I don't know if you prefer that angle, Oliver, or not, but the face angle.
For what?
The fan.
For the fan.
That's blowing up.
Oh,
your
I do
pants.
not like the face angle.
No?
No, I got long hair, dude. I can't be messing around with the...
It's true.
If I ever want to not wear a hat at work, I gotta have that fan down or I end up eating 3 gallons of hair.
I hear you. Coming at
3
you.
gallons of hair will mess up your digestion, Oliver.
Yeah.
I got about 2 more on this.
Awesome. We're moving along really nice. How's the spacing? Even a little tighter maybe, Oliver?
Your left to right spacing looks really, really good. We could go a little bit tighter up and down.
You got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Picking up what you're putting down.
Perfect. But it's looking super good, man. You are doing a hell of a job.
I think we need to think about housekeeping, because if you guys are talking here, when would be the best time to do housekeeping?
We could have Bess do it right now.
I know, but we're all talking.
Housekeeping
way.
can happen wherever. I mean, we're running through these bits. If after this one you want to take a break, and we'll just kind of take the background and just keep working on these bits.
Yeah, let me do that, because I got a lot of housekeeping.
That sounds just fine. I'm really trying to keep this on center and not put too much heat onto each bit so that it's squishing and changing the situation.
Do you want another one
more
off this?
that? Yes, please.
Behind you. Thank goodness for Beth. For a minute there, she was like, I'm not feeling so good.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh my.
Oh, Bess. Oh,
Let me-
sorry.
Give me 1 sec, Oliver.
It is a nice warm one here today.
I tell you what, though, this has been absolutely like great practice for doing repeatable color patterns.
Huge. All this, I mean, I'm sure there's more than that just got stuck into your brain throughout these few pieces, Oliver. That's just the best way to learn, and sometimes like you kind of don't feel like on a hot day like doing the same piece 25 times in a row, but I've mentioned it a million times before on the show. The only reason I can gather a consistent amount in a row is because when I was in Pittsburgh, we made 60, 70, 80 pumpkins in a row, and I mean, I kind of enjoyed it, but whether or not you enjoy it, that is what gets your brain to understand what's going on.
Will explode.
That's a great question.
Why doesn't it do
Housekeeper?
what?
Why don't the cane poles explode?
It's thin. So I'm going to show you guys when they're done and they're putting it away in the annealer and need a minute to cool off. I'll show you the cane. All right, Beth, if you stay on the camera, I'll go through my list.
Alrighty.
Does that work? All right, if you're new to the show, you might not know this, but every night we do a live show. We have a contest, and twice a week we send it out in our e-news on Tuesday and Sunday. And 2 people are going to win tonight. One's going to win a $25 gift card. The other person is going to win a product we made, and tonight, let me get it again for you. Let's look at that beauty for a second. A lovely little cup, textured on the surface. And we'll tell you the winners in, let's see, probably half an hour. The show goes until 8. Okay, so I do have a request. When you're entering our contest, you send your answer through the website. The contact page works great, but please use your full name. Tonight's contest, I think one of the people didn't have their full name, and I just want to make sure I get it right on the show. So please tell us your full name. All right, next up, I know Jake is not, his mic is not on. Oliver's mic is on though. Oliver, is your mic on? Okay, cool. So the next thing I need is when you guys think about our gallery. If you've been here, can you type in the chat some words to describe our gallery? When Chris and I went to Maine, we went to all these different places and we were checking things out, and I need descriptive words to talk about our gallery. I just ran out of words to describe it. I see it one way, you guys another way. So if you think about our gallery, what's the word you describe it? Contemporary, modern, unique, fashion forward. How would you describe what we do? So that is one of the things. Then, if you could type those words in the chat, it would be lovely. Beautifully curated. Thank you, Carrie. That's a good one. Carrie, I need to make sure you stay on the show because there is something with your name on it. And no, you didn't win. But I'm going to show you Wheel of Names. I knew you'd get all excited. So hang out. Hang out. Immersive glass experience. I like that because you're doing classes and gallery. One of the galleries we went to was adorable, and it was super, super tiny. Like I'm talking, I don't know, maybe 20 pieces in the gallery. It was a pottery studio, and she was spinning on the wheel and back. And it's kind of hard to describe our gallery sometimes because there's so much stuff in it. But like glass and different styles and different techniques and different skill levels. So yes, if you guys, educational, Barry says, Barry Ann, thank you. Comfortable and homey, unique for sure.
Couches in here.
Yeah, that's another thing. Jake, oh, you didn't hear that. Jake said wait until we get the couches in here. All right, next week we're thinking about doing a little video about our trip out east and sharing some of the things we got and places that we went with you guys. So stay tuned for that. Next week we're going to have some of our finds with us so you can see where we were shopping and what we were looking for in
Probably
the gallery
a little bit light.
that we went to.
You want to do like one more?
I think if
All
I
right,
could
I
just
think
pop
Heidi
in.
also said it's National Tequila Day. Does anyone know about this?
I did hear about
Is
that.
anyone having tequila today?
Can I pop in for one technical comment they may be interested in? Well, I guess it depends on, it's your call, Oliver, if we want to match it or not. I was thinking this one could be a little bit lower because I'm going to trim it more, and the last one, having them higher, was starting to ovalize the top of it. It may make it lighter having less.
Hey, Jake,
Yeah. But it's your call. If we get two more on that one more in that obvious spot, maybe one there and one there.
I think
Take a look at it.
where it's going to bulb out, like this top bulb out here, Jake.
Yeah.
I think we stop right at where that angle begins, which is probably going to be as deep as you're going with your jacks, right?
Yeah. So what, like up to here or something?
I was thinking maybe even like
Higher?
up to here.
Here.
Yeah, just
So
kind
like
of fill
3
that
more or
out.
something?
Yeah. I'm gonna need a new bit though, probably.
All right, let's run that then. I'll give these guys a nice up close here after a DP. This one is the best of 3. Serious learning curve right now on this piece. But it's really coming together so far.
wait. Go back down. It's better, less competition for stuff.
Look at
Let's
that
see the
sweet color
pattern.
pattern. Purple granite, as Oliver's calling it.
Yeah, it does kind of look like granite. So Oliver's behind the tanks over there getting another layer. Beth is going to be doing some action shots for her social. And when she does those, she gets really close. So I've stepped aside here so Beth can get in and get what she needs to do. We also are on other social platforms. We do smaller snippets of the pieces. Usually they're fast action glass blowing shots so that you get the fast stuff. You don't see the whole piece. Today, this is a 2-hour show.
Guys,
are we adding more, another layer?
we're gonna add a couple more here. Just to let people in the chat know, I got a little story time if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
I've been really excited to make these cups. I've had this idea in my head about a day and a half after my friend asked me if I could look into getting a custom order done. and I've been really excited to see it come to life. I'm also a little bit scared because of my grandma. I'm sure my grandma's watching right now, and she's going to sit on the couch right now thinking, why is Oliver scared? My grandma has decided now that she only calls me for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is if she is leaving town. And reason number 2 is when she feels like being a mafia mobster telling me that she needs a piece of glass ASAP. And I'm on the hook to get Grandma a slug. And I was specifically told, and I quote, "Don't come home if you're not bringing me a slug."
We got a little bit of that on both of our grandparents' side over here. It might be a trending thing.
I don't know what it... My grandma really turned into an Italian mobster as soon as I started this job.
Well, shouts out to all the grandmas out there. If you guys are a grandmother, cut your grandkids some slack. We love you guys.
Grandma's awesome. Grandma's awesome. And I have to say that because I'm scared for my life.
Give your grandma some slack. Oh, no.
I love both my grandparents and my grandpa that's out there watching the show as well. Shouts out, Grandpa. These diamonds are getting hot.
All the tools are getting hot. That's the thing. So after this piece will be the wheel of shenanigans. We'll let some things cool off. The glass blowers, the tools are going to spin the wheel and see what the item du jour is.
Is that the top line, are you saying?
Yeah, let's make that the top line. I just... Because I'm used to them working out well, I did the exact same size bit.
Yeah.
Let's just use the camera, I would say.
Okay.
You're done with it? It's done.
Okay.
So when you guys are talking quiet, does that mean your mic is off or no?
No.
I turned my mic off.
All right, let there be light.
Oh.
Ta-da!
I didn't even realize we didn't have the lights on.
I didn't either.
Well, because it's summer and we don't have them on. We weren't blowing all day. But now the sun's starting to go down. Winter is coming, even though it's 85 today.
We've got 2 types of pipes at this studio, stainless steel and regular steel. This is a stainless steel pipe, and stainless steel pipes are heavier, they bend easier, and when your hands get sweaty and you're completely covered in sweat halfway through the piece, it's even harder to hold onto the pipe. So, and they're more expensive. The only downside to the regular steel pipe is that your hands get dirty.
Because the steel pipe rusts a little bit.
And it's rusty, and a lot of times you do have to, especially in the summertime, we'll come in and before we start working, we'll hit it with the Scotch-Brite, and that's what we'll do. Did we lose the camera?
There you are.
Hey there.
Hey, all right, fine. We were checking in on the social and seeing what was going on. Chill out. So we do.
In the chat's talking about their grandkids now.
Oh,
Pam Keller says she has a 20-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a due on Saturday-year-old.
20-year-old, 7-year-old,
And a due on Saturday.
and a due on
Saturday.
Saturday-year-old. That's so exciting. I can't wait to be a grandpa.
You got a long wait, buddy.
I know. I mean, I'm waiting.
If I could somehow skip being a parent and go straight to being a grandparent,
Really?
that'd be the dream right there.
I'm glad you guys are all loving on this because I'm like, don't do it.
You don't want to be a grandma?
Not now. Not for a while. Got too much stuff on the list.
Well,
I want to be able to babysit and chill out. That's not going to happen these
that's
days.
what being a grandma's all about, right?
Maybe.
That's going to be so fun.
All right, what kind of questions you guys got? This piece is not normally something we do on the Gathering Point where it's a lot of repetition. So this is the best time ever to ask us questions and we can answer all your glass blowing needs.
I say, I think probably just one more, Oliver. I don't know. Or is it looking good? Maybe like
I think it looks super good, but I got these little guys. So you can tuck one
two
in.
little ones.
So another thing that happened when we were on travel,
Like a little
everyone asked us
itty-bitty
if we
guy.
heard of Corning Museum
That
of
cooled down on
Glass.
us pretty fast.
When we said we were a glass blower, they were all like, have you heard of Corning? And so we have, of course, we have many friends that work there, but how about you guys? Do you know Corning Museum of Glass? Have you been there? If you've been there, what was your favorite part? Was it the museum? Watching the live demos? Going to the store? The research library? There's so many things
Alright,
of
last
interest
one.
there. And that's in Corning, New York, middle of the state. Super cool.
Perfect placement.
Boom. All right, right into the foos. Anybody know what that stands for?
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
All right, so Oliver's going to get a small bit of glass
It's not gonna
to
be
stick
small.
on the bottom. Wait a second, we gotta focus.
I'm focused.
You're focused, I'm not focused.
Look at that hot one.
So good.
Turn nice and slow with the hair of a downward angle maybe on the way over. Just don't want it to disc up like that last one. We're going for a Rosetta foot. This is going to be a nice zooming situation. I'm going to work the wrist now that we've worked the diamond shears. That looks great, Oliver. That's just really
All
nice.
right.
You could save that for the punny. That's just a beautiful foot. Whew. Beautiful, dude.
So why do you do this?
What?
Why are we doing the foot?
Yeah. What does the foot do?
Gives us a nice stable place to rest the glass on the table, obviously. Gives some extra thickness on the bottom as well. And I saw Jake do a Rosetta a handful of weeks ago making some glasses. And I lost my mind. I'm not gonna lie about that. I was like, whoa, I can't believe that turned out so cool.
Now, if you don't know what a Rosetta, let me show you guys what this looks like. It's clear,
Yeah.
still glowing.
You know what? When we're done, let's go over the table, and that white cup has one.
That's the white cup that sold me on the Rosetta.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That cup was the inspiration for a couple different pieces we did on this last Thursday's happy hour.
What's happy hour?
It's a good question.
Do you want me to let you focus and I'll answer?
Yeah.
Jake, I'm gonna test
Everyone
your memory
knows
real
what
quick, but am I
happy
crazy
hour
to think that I did the color pattern on that one? I didn't do the foot. Like me and Joey started that one off, and I did the color pattern
you
on
might
that one.
have. You might have, yeah.
We're doing mugs.
So happy hour is when
you're
we
right.
make glassware as you guys watch. So this is where you're the designer and we're the craftsmen. Many of the pieces that you see us make in the studio take years of experience. They're not easy. They take
You're gonna wanna get
practice.
this one right in.
To get a really fancy, nice piece, doesn't even have to be fancy, it just needs to be well made. It takes years of experience. It's not something
wanna
you can
give
come
me
into a
more.
glass shop and learn in one class. So happy hour is where you guys are the designers and we're the craftsmen. You go through a series of steps. We walk you through the gallery. We show you different options, and then you can pick out how you want your piece made. So basically, Oliver's kind of doing a sort of happy hour tonight. He came with a drawing. He showed Jake. Jake's making it. It just happens this particular one Oliver's jumped in on, and he's assisting as well. The piece is holding on to the blowpipe or the punty rod. It's a temporary hold. It will break away later, and at the top, right over there, is the opening. And now, from this perspective,
center a
it's
little bit?
slightly hard to see because it's clear. But as Jake centers this piece, he's going to open up that hole and stretch it open to the drawing. Let's look at the drawing for a second on the floor. Oh my gosh, this is like a bad wheelchair. Hello. I'm telling you, when you travel, you see it all. I saw these two ladies, they were friends, and one was in a wheelchair, and they were trying to get somewhere, and they just kept banging into everything because they weren't used to the wheelchair. It was really funny. All right, you guys are looking kind of serious. All is going well?
Yeah. We're in the final stretch here, so we're getting real serious.
Serious.
Yep.
Okay, so you can see what we usually like to say is how long does it take to make something like this? It takes maybe 5 years of basic training and about half an hour. And then the equipment runs all the time. We do not turn the furnace off. That runs 24/7. The glory hole does get turned off, so there's a lot of prep before we make anything. And years of experience. Even if you've been blowing glass for 5 years, but you're only doing it as a hobby, part-time on the weekends, you might not be able to make something like this. This part here is where Jake is able to trim the glass.
Going right
He's
for the
stretched
cut.
it out. He's using a Sophietta tool to puff it a little bit, but this allows him to shape it to the drawing, the size of the drawing.
So somebody had a question.
Yes.
Susan says, when you have a broken item, do you just throw it in a recycle pot, and what do you do with that?
Good question. So a few things. Number one, if it's clear, we do remelt it in the clear tank tonight. If it has like this bit here, we'll have clear. It will go in the recycle tank. And if it has color on it, we put it in a recycle tank. That's something special that we do that is different in our studio. We mix all the colors together. Now, Jake pulled out the edge there to trim it, and what happened was it's so hot, it kind of like wrapped around on itself and restuck to itself. So now he's got a dilemma.
I didn't think it tagged so fast.
This is where we need like the dancing bears to come through. This is the moment where the tension got thick.
So is he still able to cut that off and continue?
Both. He can cut it off. He's got to decide how. The glass is now going to be shorter. It's shaped different. And
Want me to grab you a bigger pair?
this is where you got to work through this stuff. You can't just trash it. You got to think about it for a second. Hey Jake, why don't you trim it lower and turn it into a bowl?
Sure.
You know?
That way it's not a total...
Yeah, it's not a total loss. Sometimes it's really strange, but the greatest mistakes create something you would have never done otherwise. So he's going to play around with it a little bit. Use the jacks here, squeezing it down, and we're going to see what he comes up with. Not every time we sit at the bench is it a win for us. There are many trials and tribulations. Sometimes, if you watched my experimental show last week, it didn't turn out quite as I wanted. Okay, other questions. So right now we have a recycle tank turned off, but if the glass did have color in it, we throw it in a tank and we call it second design. We mix all the glass together and it turns this really pretty blue. Yeah, baby! So on a bigger piece like that, you might wear a glove or you might throw a wet washcloth over your hand because I can guarantee that was super hot.
Yeah, he dunked his hand in the bucket before he went, but it probably could have used something else.
Yeah, it probably turned to steam. Like,
And this kind of looks like a cool vase on its own, too.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes these are the things, if you take a minute to work through, you end up with something you didn't expect. Like, okay, to give you an idea, if he heated it up and spun it out like chipotle stuff, those bits on there are going to make it all...
I'm going to do like a tall base, under base, right?
Cool.
I don't think I can get it all over line.
I think it will be great. Again, this is something we would not have done had this not happened.
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting it nice and hot. He's allowing it to spin. But those dots are going to do something really, really cool on the piece. They're going to pull out Oh, that's going to be so stunning with flowers in it. Oh, yeah. The wood panel, Bess is like giving it thumbs up. She's
I like it.
oh.
It's cool.
Jake says interesting. Now what happens is maybe by then he'll reveal on Thursday. He might have some time to think about it. I'll get some flowers from the farm tomorrow. And by the time you see it on the table Thursday, it's going to be lovely.
I think it's cool.
I have my true thoughts on Thursday either way.
We always hear what Jake thinks by the end of it.
I like it.
There it is.
I think it's super cool.
Well, still, there it is.
Still.
It is like granite with that spiral base. So cool.
So we got one on the top and the bottom and the same.
Are we gonna do housekeeping after this?
All right, so we'll do housekeeping after this. The guys are certainly hot. We'll do a little housekeeping. I think we might actually do some of the contest stuff early because after this, we're going to do spin the wheel. That is our shenanigans of the evening. Oh, you're right. Sorry. I was in my head. I was spinning the wheel.
Everybody is saying nice save, Jake. Very cool. And then somebody else just said, hello. Chris from the UK saw the glass slugs you guys made for Sticky. Very cool.
Yay!
So we are getting some people from that too.
Yeah, we made a slug earlier. We're probably going to do a slug for the giveaway. We do have to chop these eyeballs up right here as well as collaboration for that show.
Barry Ann says Oliver is our first grandchild of 11. What?
Yes, I am the oldest.
Leading the way.
Out of all the grandchildren, I'm also the most redhead. All the other grandchildren have dark hair and olive skin complexion and tan really, really well, but not me.
All right, this looks a little like wonky, but this is our knockoff station. And so what we want to do is wheel in on the product. There's the color, but it's still hot, so that's really not going to be the color.
You can see those perps starting to come through a little bit though.
Yeah, for sure. Jake's living on the edge by getting his face so close. Not something I do. There we go. A little tool on the bottom to make sure there's no sharp edges. And away it goes. Ta-da!
So Oliver, you could have a matching vase while you're sitting there drinking out of your glasses.
Oh, I think you are right. That's a great idea. Very nice.
Roller coaster. I need some water like right now.
All right, let's do a little housekeeping. Maybe we do the table. Whoops.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got on the table we talked about? How about this beauty purple? Clear foot, feather handle. That would be lovely with like, I don't know, I'm not a big drinker of beer, so I'm thinking lemonade myself. Iced tea would be good too. All right, what else?
I really
we got?
like the orange slug.
I like him, he's like puffy.
Yeah. He's like a cute little round guy.
And then like the way the color was swirled, it kind of looks like his mouth is open and he's like, what? What's up? And let's see, his name, number 11, is Plump Orange, the happy slug. The white one did sell, but I called him Whitey. Did you guys ever go on vacation where someone's like super white, they never get out in the sun? So that's why he was Whitey, he was feeling like that. But this is a good example of what they just did. If you look at the swirls on the bottom here, this is a combo piece. So the price you saw on the cup is been added to the shot glass, and together they are a lovely, lovely set. Same colors used, kind of different pattern, but full of swirls.
Both have those Van Gogh swirls, yeah.
And then I was thinking, I don't know, like, do people do like a drink and a shot? That was kind of my theory on that one. So that's 12. 13 on Sunday's question. If you watch the e-news, Sunday's question is about polka dots.
Maybe.
So I love the fabric it's on versus stripes. I can tell you this, stripes sell, polka dots do not, and I do not know why. So that's going to be on Sunday's question. You can tell me if you like dots or not and why for a chance to win a $25 gift card. Okay, these guys I think are chopping. Do you want to show that?
Pretty cool with 108 in the eye. It's a simple design, but some of these designs take a long time to get done. So,
Do you want to show them how to use the nippers?
All of them.
You could. All right, follow me while he's doing that. Why I say follow me is because the camera's on wheels. All right, here is the white on the inside, the blue. Because it gets stretched out, there's a certain size of glass that you don't have to anneal or cool. And this is about as thick as it can be without doing that process. Then all you do is take these nippers and you go in and you nip them. We have a machine too, and it's a handmade machine that you have to do it, but you can just snip them like you would a ceramic tub.
Or are you nipping them?
I don't know, what am I doing?
Or are you chopping them?
Chopping them. Put it in the chat. Are we snipping, nipping, or chopping?
Check that out. Doesn't that just look like a bunch of candy and goodness? Over the years, you know, different designs, you've got different patterns in there. So if you take a good zoom on maybe like the pink ones, you can see there's 3 layers. There's actually some optical action on there as well. So there's kind of like a ridged pattern to it. Same with the orange ones. These guys are a little different, no pupil. These are actually our heart greenies from a while back, I think 2021. How the zoom works on that, but we've got a beautiful red heart in the middle of them. We've done them on slugs many times before, but the heart doesn't stay as prominent, so it's unless you know that it's a heart greenie, you don't really know. I also wanted to show off, I'm not sure if you saw it or not, the progress here on the M80 we made back on the 4th of July show. I've got it all taped up and ready to go for the sandblaster. Right now we're using our sandblaster, our air compressor, to blast and scrape the ceiling, and we're almost 50% done with the building here. It's about 14,000 square feet, so it's a pretty big project, but as soon as that air compressor opens back up, we can blast this whole side of the hot shop, which is coming up next. I'm going to take the sandblaster to this and blast through the red texture here, firecracker texture, and get to the black, the AFIC, and I'll also sandblast, you can see the black on the inside, the clear, so it's kind of got a cap.
Jake, is your mic on?
Nope, mic's not on. I hope you guys got all that. We're gonna move
Mine's on, so they might have been able to hear
Professional
you.
lip readers,
Yeah,
just translate what Jake just said.
Perfect. Alrighty, so we're gonna get to the wheel of shenanigans then?
Yeah, you want to do that?
Alright.
So Oliver, somebody asked a question earlier.
Oh, okay.
What exactly is a slug crime?
A slug crime?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a really good question. Some slugs steal social security numbers. Some really like arson. Slugs just get up to shenanigans, but some slugs do a lot of really wholesome things. I saw a slug walk an old lady across the street the other day, one of ours.
Wow.
I was so proud of it. We raised that one right.
That is pretty cool.
But the
One of
orange
our
eyes-
old ladies?
one of our old ladies and one of our slugs.
Do
but those
slugs sliming around, is that considered a crime? The fact that they are sliming upon
absolutely
everything that
not. You can't
they do?
you can't hold that against them.
Yeah, you
that's
can't.
part of their natural process.
they are just slimers.
But that last orange-eyed slug that stole $20 out of my wallet,
Yeah.
he
not
could have helped
okay.
that.
Not okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I agree with Oliver.
You stole $20 out
I
of your
didn't get
wallet?
a chance to go over any of these pieces, but it sounds like Michelle did pretty well. You know that this is a beautiful collectible set here from last year, one of the very last pieces of that white tank we have left, and a lot
Yeah,
of these
and
mugs
where did
are
you find them?
fresh.
Because Chris was commenting.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Chris said, "Not my white beauties."
they were in the back storage room, pretty deep. I was really looking for. We haven't been producing as much. We've been working on the ceiling, and not in our normal drinkware run like we are starting now until the end of the year. So I did find a lot of brand new ones, and this being one of my favorites here. I love that you got the clear, a green stamp.
Oh, it's different.
It's super different. The green twisted rope handle. This is a super cool one. Remember that all the pieces going forward with gold stamps will be from the collectible GA Lounge Michigan Room set, and we're going to give you more information on that. Some people have already pre-ordered, but we're going to have them all available for August 24th when we have this major situation go down. Beautiful pieces, but I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel here. We're going to watch out for Chris's goblet from last week. Put that right there. And this is for the 3 glass blowers we have here tonight, a challenge for tonight's show. Normally we do it at the beginning when we've got a ton of energy. It's 7:30, and we made some pretty hardcore pieces, so let's see what we can do. And if I happen to give these guys the business, it's been a minute since I got my name on the trophy. Michelle, too.
It's been a way minute for me.
Well, that's because you don't participate anymore.
What'd you do? You tore the clicker off.
Did you just break the wheel of shenanigans, Jake? You're fired, man. That's it.
Now, just hold on here.
There were shenanigans to the wheel of shenanigans.
I've got a way for this. There is a way.
So there is not a Michelle head dunk here on the wheel. I just wanted to point that out.
That is a good point out. So
There's
if it
not a
lands
what on
on
it?
Chris,
Michelle head dunk.
if it lands on Chris, we'll see what happens.
Okay, easy now, killer.
We have to have a head dunk bucket ready at all times. All right, I'll let you go make your bucket, and I'll work on the other stuff. Okay.
All right, folks.
Just love to see it.
Wait, let's do this over here while he preps. Did you guys get a little dizzy on those spins? All right, so we asked you guys questions. I've got 2 winners. And then we're going to do Jake's dunking and probably the giveaway because it has been a hot, long day and we all started early. Okay, so my first question was unusual vegetables, and there were some really cool answers. And majority of people said they don't get their vegetables at the farmer's market, which is totally fine. I was just wondering how many people went there. And let's see, kiwis, golden beets, kiwi, mango, blackberry, currant, elderberry. There's artichoke. Let's see, leeks, taro. Some of these are pretty cool. They're pretty unusual. How do I not cough in this weird mic? I'm boring and I don't eat unusual things. Turnips, dragon fruit, pickled okra, which is actually really good. Fiddleheads. How many people eat fiddleheads? That's a good one. That one's a weird one. Calabre. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Pawpaw. I found a pawpaw tree in our neighborhood, so we do eat pawpaws. Is that? Yeah, that's a fruit. Water chestnuts, mangoes, okra, turnips. And the winner of this one is a new person, or at least new to me, but I gotta show you something that happened with this. So Carrie, are you still on the show? The winner of that purple cup, voila, for playing our game, is Sylvia Lutz. Choo-choo! Congratulations, you'll get an email of the next steps, what to do. We ask you to pay for shipping, and then we'll send this lovely to you. But Bess, can you zoom in on this? Notice the orange. Now, Miss Carrie was like, am I on your mailing list? Because I never see Carrie. You were so close. I was like, oh, just another touch. But you didn't make it. So keep playing. You'll get there. The next question was, have you ever tried purple carrots? 33, 32. That one was pretty close. But the next one is, what kind of drink are you looking forward to having in our Michigan room? The drinkware, we put a variety of styles because there were a variety of drinks. Mocktails or smoothies. A Dublin Mule. If you guys make stuff with this, could you tell us what you make? Because we will do a specialty drink on it. Black Russian, mocktails, gin and tonic, highball, spicy Bloody Mary, and the winner was of a $25 gift card L. Dickerson. Girl goes crazy. I don't know why I think it's Lynn, but I don't know if I'm right. So that's why I say enter your whole name if you can, because that we will know. We'll say your whole name. Okay, the last thing I have on my list, say I made a list. How many people went to the Barbie movie? Like, I did not expect to go to this. It's kind of interesting. Like, it's one of those.
Show?
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was fair. When you get done, there's some interesting things that are topics of our time. These guys are rolling their eyes at me. Kind of
I'm not
interesting.
cool. Jake's
you.
rolling your
Not
eyes.
you.
I wasn't rolling any eyes.
Dude, those eyes
But
roll.
I do want to say someone knew a glass blower, because there are like 5 different scenes with glass in it that are all different. And there's not a lot of props in this movie at all, because it's like the fake background and all those things. Or the Barbie house. So there's a Chihuly-like piece. There's a giant vase that's red. There's a tumbler set. And there's a couple more pieces. So if you do go watch the movie, look for that handmade glass in the background as Ken's having his little baby fits. Okay. He's got the bucket ready, ladies and gentlemen.
He's got no microphone.
No microphone.
But if you could translate that, I do have to go a little bit longer than Chris, because he did a pretty good job last time.
So,
If I pass out,
Jake, here, listen, we can just get real close. We can get buddy-buddy for a second. Why don't you tell the folks what they need to hear?
I said if I gotta go longer than Chris, which I do, I will. and
Chris
I will.
went 31 seconds.
He was in the bucket for 31 seconds?
How long can you hold your breath for?
He had been 31
That's
seconds.
my video.
No.
Yeah, maybe it was 31 seconds the whole thing.
Well, if I count to 31, I'm gonna pass out.
So if your whole video gets to 32 seconds, we'll count it.
Alright.
Do you want me to tap you when you hit 32?
When I start getting shaky and start like leaning.
Hold you down?
Yeah. Here we go. Got some nice lukewarm water. Oh boy.
Why is it so tough? Feels to me like it'd be really good. Who's counting the seconds?
Congratulations, Jake. That was 45 seconds.
Hey!
It went right into your nose.
I couldn't do it. I was trying to be casual, but I couldn't do it. Ridiculous. Jeez. Anyway, you start that piece off.
Man, okay. I'm gonna put your mic pack right here next to the color.
Perfect.
So we're gonna do the giveaway piece now. Jake gave me really clear instructions. He said, Oliver, we're making a slug, and then that was about it. So I'm gonna figure it out from there.
We love that.
I have a color pattern in my head. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, I gotta say, when websites update and they don't tell you, it is frustrating. It's like craziness.
So did you decide on a color pattern, Oliver?
I did, but real quick, I have to ask Jake if this is about the right amount of glass for a slug.
It's way too much, but it'll work just fine.
Good job. We are on the right track. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking a full coat of this sand color right here.
Oh.
I'm going to do 2 coats of that. I pulled that out special when you weren't watching.
This is a transparent color.
I'm aware.
All right.
And I'm
All
gonna, so my idea here is that color right there, we call that whiskey. It's transparent, amber brown. It is absolutely stunning. I'm going to have that be like the body of the snail. And with any luck, I am going to put a little line, if you will, of the gray.
Ooh.
And that's going to be like the top of the slug.
This slug might be rare.
And then on the opposing side, I'm going to do the alabaster. And that's going to be the belly of the slug. So it'll have a back color and a belly color.
I like this. The tricky thing about this is when you're putting colors on the top and the bottom and you're making, especially drinkware, when you're opening it up back and forth, but really any product to keep things symmetrical, and you got a line on one side, a line on the other side, and to have it blow out even. It's not as important for a piece like this. For a slug, they can be wonky, they can have some funkiness to them. Sometimes we purposely do that kind of thing, but you got to try and keep it fairly straight, at least if we want it to be on the top and on the bottom. Otherwise, whatever happens, happens.
So I'm getting this shaped up. I think I'm seeing where I'm going to put these guys at.
Does anybody have any great suggestions for getting paint off concrete floor? Because we're here right now and we're painting the ceiling and we've got drips of paint left and right. We also have a particular spot that we purposely painted that we may want to remove if it's an easy enough process. I've done some Google research, but haven't found anything that's particularly going to be an easy job. If anyone has any really good suggestions for how to do that, if anything, just for all those paint marks around the studio on our concrete floor, we want to go around and give them the business and get things back up to looking as good as they can look.
Jake, you got any recommendation? Do you want 2 coats of the back and belly color on this guy, you think?
I think 1 is going to be fine.
Okay.
Just fine.
Well, then I'm ready to hand this guy off to you.
All right.
I can.
How about popping a bubble in it? You want to just
I'm just
pop
close
something real
because I'm
nice
getting
in there?
video here.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, I can do that for
One
sure.
top down marber real quick.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
And then I'll stay out of the way.
This is something that this is going to be Oliver's next kind of step in a little more. You got to go all the way down.
Hey, you know what else I thought was kind of cool? Someone said use a glass straw when you go in the bucket.
There you go.
Like a
roll both
snorkel.
ways. That would be interesting.
I
If we had
know.
a big bent one.
I know, and I think we could just make a bent one, like a hook, like
Would I
a
just
snorkel.
stick it in my nose, or would
No,
I?
if you stick it in your mouth
Oh.
and we make one, we could go in the bucket and then you just breathe through the straw.
Well, I'd take the championship there for sure.
And I think, is that our widest bucket?
We may have a wider one. I'm not positive about that.
Okay. Because
Nice.
that'd be a good idea.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome.
That's a pretty darn good bubble. What I was starting to say there is that's Oliver's next progression in glass blowing. That's how Matt did it, and he got the beautiful opportunity of us doing our world record situation, excuse me, right when he was beginning to blow glass here. And he made probably 500 recycled just bubbles, blowing bubble, neckline, and that really gets your progress going. We don't have the luxury of just letting Oliver sit around and make bubbles for any specific reason right now. So it may be a slower process, but he's going to get it. Now, which side's the top?
I do want
The
to
gray
say
is going to be the top.
Okay.
we are coming up on 1 year for world record, Jake, not 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we're gonna have a little something's gonna happen.
Oh, like a we did it last year party?
I can't tell you.
Uh-oh.
Gotta stay tuned.
I think it's only appropriate that we go for a snowball, big, chubby, puffy slug to finish the show here. This is the giveaway for next week. If you don't have your questions in, get them in, your answers. Did we give them the question?
Bess is taking some video. So tonight's question is,
Good.
what are the features of Glass Academy drinkware you like best? You can go to the website and hit us up on the contact page, or send it to enews@glassacademy.com. That's E, the letter E, like an alphabet. No, I mean elephant. enews@glassacademy.com.
You know what this look reminds me of? You guys have both seen Shrek.
Yeah.
These guys always remind me of the balloon
When he
animals.
blows the frog up into a balloon.
Yeah,
You're
totally.
right.
Totally. All right, that'll do. If it's not going to do, let's give it a little bit of torchage. We'll see, but I'm thinking that.
What color
give it a
eyes you
set
going
there,
for here?
Give it a little yellow torchage. Your call on the eye.
My
right,
call
these are
on the eye. If you've been paying
Like
attention,
that
guess what
marini
eye
that
color
we
I'm
pulled
not going to
earlier.
preheat.
I'm gonna go with orange
And we're going to...
because those slugs commit crimes.
Yeah, precisely.
Using a little
We're
hand
going to heat up
torch.
these pink ones.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is not Jake sweating so much. He did dunk his head in a bucket of water. If you want to see a nice close-up, Beth's got a great angle there. We do TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for our socials, so you got to check it to find out where it shows up. Beth likes to rotate her social around. She will
Are
not
there-
share her secrets.
Any of the addicts out there that don't already have slugs, because I feel like it's kind of a staple of the studio at this point, but regardless of that, do you guys prefer a chubby slug, a medium slug, or a skinny slug?
I think I prefer a chubby slug.
Chubby?
When I see him, like when we travel and you see him in different places, I saw a super long one,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh,
Skinny boy?
yeah.
Stanford?
Coming right up.
Like I really like the size of the orange guy that's on the table.
Number 11?
Yeah.
I like the chubby ones personally too. But then the follow-up question is, based on your favorite type of slug, do you like the eyes really close together, or do you like them spread apart wide, or this I would call right in the middle?
Right in the middle.
I'm right in the middle, but I do like when they have sometimes some character and like one's a little shorter than the other.
Or like the husky style, different colors? or
Yep.
something?
I don't mind them being different lengths or like different eye colors, but I feel very strongly like the slugs that I like, one thumb width in between the eyes.
All right, very
That's
specific.
more than that. Bring it right on over.
Depends on whose thumb you're using.
Yeah,
This
it does.
is the signature.
suck your
This is
thumb as
how
a
we
kid?
stamp our pieces. Small bit of glass. Little GA
I'm
stamp.
very
goes on
partial to them very close together. I like them almost to be a cycloptic slug.
that. Is this one that light color?
This one is mostly transparent with a gray back. It's a gray back slug
In an
Well, that's
alabaster
really
belly.
different.
and an alabaster belly.
We do not do transparent slugs, so
This
this
is a
one,
super rare piece.
I agree.
You don't even have the option to purchase it, folks.
It's so rare. You
Someone's
better
gonna get
enter
it.
that contest.
So sweet.
I like that it's transparent because I can see the spots on both sides of it.
Right. See that something's going on the other side. All right, here we go.
This is what happens when Jake lets me do the color pattern. You get something off the menu.
You get something rare.
That's okay. It doesn't bother me at all. I just was wondering if it's going to strike was the reason I was asking.
Negative.
All right, this is how we get it off the pipe. We heat its little tail so hot that it kind of like drips off the pipe. Then it goes on the table here. They use a pair of shears to cut it,
Watch yourself, Bess.
and then use
Sorry.
the torch
You're fine.
to
I just don't want to get you with the torch.
That's fair.
smooth it.
We don't need any 1300 degree. 13.
I got
Shout
burnt
out-
enough last week. I don't want any more, thanks.
Shout out to Ivan for the cool refractory.
I like that color on top of the bottle.
I
We'll
recently
see
did
when it
the
gets done.
inventory of all of our color, and I got my eyes on that opal gray again, and I was like, I need to find a reason to use this.
And find a reason he did.
Yes.
All right. Tell us where you're at.
Right here at the Glass Academy in Dearborn, Michigan. That was show number 225. We're 10 minutes early, but we haven't ended a show early in a long time.
Do you guys mind if it's hot and sweaty and these guys stop a few
Take a
minutes
look
early?
at the table one more time. I didn't even get to talk about this piece from last week. I guess I did actually on the annealer reveal.
I was
But-
showing them how they all stick.
It's
I'm
incredible.
zooming in.
The grapes, the collaboration aspect. You can see the progress in Matt's berries from the first one. Then he figured out the texture. Then he figured out the top little blackberry situation. He's a very fast learner. Joey's got beautiful strawberries, beautiful stem, perfect colored berries here, and this is just a beauty of a piece. Super cool.
Turn it upside down. What? It's a fruit bowl where it doesn't fall out. That's worth 20 bucks right there.
That's worth $20 bonus. I also wrote Young Guns collab on here because it is a kind of historical piece. It was all the 4 guys when everyone else was out of town.
The 4 Musketeers.
4 Musketeers, and we handled the tech too.
And you did a nice job with the picture on the website, the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The 4 guys.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who they are, visit us on Facebook or YouTube.
That was on my personal account. I don't know if
Oh, never mind.
it was on my Instagram. But
All right, you'd have to scroll through Facebook.
we'll
It was
post
a cool
that
one.
picture eventually. We got a really nice picture of all 4 of the guys at the gas conference.
One more
Anyway,
time,
folks.
going over the board, you are at the Gathering Point, show number 225. 22225. Okay,
All
we're
right.
going to
I
grab
like
some
the way they
popsicles.
think.
Bess is going to leave you with a little closing video.
Shouts out to the VIPs.
Mic's off.